The first exhibition was I had to move flat, and so I did one in the empty apartment. It was only one afternoon, and it was a whole crisis with the house because a lot of people came.
Do you think that you were prototyping when you started saying, okay, let us do this? I have the empty apartment and let us try.
Yeah, I think I was certainly prototyping in that sense because I also experimented with different exhibition formats, and also a big part of it is also how to promote it. And with in that sense, almost every exhibition was a new iteration where I tried new things.
Yeah.
For me, after my studies, it was a conscious decision that I wanted to do something where I could leave an impact, and corporate never really interested me that much. It was more about really, where can I leave an impact? Where can I have a purpose? And that for me was always like, for me, being an entrepreneur is a possibility where you have the power or the possibility open to shape a better future the way that you imagine it.
Our intention was more to make the exhibitions that we want to make, and how can we, I guess, design a business model around this vision of art and curation that we have. So I think there are a lot of things from design management actually came in, and also especially also the whole system thinking and thinking about who are the different agents actually that affect us or that we need to reach in order to raise the necessary funds or to get the right artists, even to get a space. It was a lot of like thinking on that type of level that we had in the last year of design management.
Would you say that this is a strategic level?
I would say so, yeah.
It's this way of thinking that you, in the business world, then you go, or how do you say, tackle challenges in a way I think that I would have done differently before DMI. So it's not actually about specific frameworks for me. It was more like my way of thinking that I think actually shifted quite fast. Like I felt that change kind of like after the first semester.
Also something that I remember from the DMI studies, where you have to there's different cultural norms to how an interaction goes and what is appropriate. And
I think that's where I'm really thankful to DMI as well, that we touched on so many topics and so many different areas. So I feel like I have a little bit of knowledge in many of those areas, and I don't feel like I'm like totally lost when it comes to finances or when it comes to legal issues, for example. I loved legal issues during DMI, which is something that I never expected. And now whenever we talk about legal stuff, I'm like, I learned some of that stuff. So I think that's something that's really valuable. On the subject of like the skills from DMI that you can bring into entrepreneurship, is kind of, I think the ones studying there will know this, like you have so many topics, it's so many subjects, and you don't really, you dig deep, but not really, you couldn't call yourself an expert in one of those fields. So you kind of, through the 3 years, kind of have to develop and learn about yourself and learn about what is it that you enjoy doing, what are your strengths, and what direction do you want to go. You kind of have to be in the lead of that, like of that drive, and kind of navigate in what direction you want to go. Because yes, there is design manager roles, but a lot of companies don't know about design managers, but they actually really could use one. Yeah. So it's kind of you like formulating it in a way to take your strengths and explaining it. Why would they benefit from having you in the company? And I'm really seeing, like, I was thinking about it today, and I actually am realizing that what I'm doing at my company is design management, because I'm in the middle of the different areas that we have, the different teams that we have, and what I'm doing is putting processes in place, finding out strategies that can streamline things in a way that it runs more smoothly, that the communication is like the marketing team understands the other team. Like, it's kind of like bringing these together.
One thing that I really often think about in my practice is the way you have to very clearly communicate about what you want and what the expectations are. Also, in my case, it's a business partnership. So you kind of, that's very also similar to what we did in design management teams, where it's on the one hand your friends, but on the other hand you have this cause that you have to work on together. And I think in the studies, we really also learned to keep each other accountable and to communicate very clearly when something is not going right, because now in the real world, I see like a lot of people have like a lot of trouble to communicate, or it's like you have to take it into your own hands and say very clearly what you want. What I'm really appreciative for, I'm really grateful for this, is the wide skill set that I learned in design management, because like now in the gallery, for example, we are running our own website, which is something I learned to do in the first year of design management. And granted, it's maybe not the best website ever, but it functions as a digital portfolio and to promote our shows. And that's what we need at the moment. And design management is a place where I learned to figure out problems, like, okay, how can we do this? And let's do it.
Solve problems in a creative way, and seeing that system that we were talking about, seeing it from a bigger perspective and bigger picture, and figuring out ways and like little gaps where you can go in and creatively solve that. So yeah, that's kind of my take on that.